British Retail Consortium is the leading voice of retail industry within the United Kingdom. We represent around 3/4 of retailers by turnover. We deal with government, the devolved assemblies in Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland, and also with the European Union. Our primary role is to promote and enhance the economic, social and political environment in which the retail industry operates. The BRC has an extremely broad base of membership across the UK retail sector. We don't just represent one sector of retailers, we represent right across the board. So we have within membership all the large supermarkets, we have the vast majority of in-town retailers. At the same time we have large companies and small companies as well. So we have extremely good coverage and that provides us with a clear mandate to represent retailers' views to public bodies.
The BRC got involved in mulesing as an issue back in 2005 when the original campaign by some of the animal rights groups brought it to the attention of consumers here. Our principal objection at the moment is surgical mulesing without the use of analgesics, because our customers do not regard that as an acceptable practice in the 21st century. Even with the use of analgesics, we would like to see that basically taken out of practice as quickly as possible. The NWD is a very important first step in establishing the mulesing status of wool, but we need to build on that with full traceability systems so that the customer picking the garment off the rack in the shop can be absolutely sure that when it says it is high welfare status, that's exactly what it is. We are extremely encouraged by the fact that nearly 1/5 of this year's wool crop will meet the requirements of UK retailers, and that with a higher and higher proportion of lambs born each year left unmulesed, very soon a significant proportion of the flock will be meeting the welfare requirements that our customers ask us to seek out. Back in 2005, we signed a compact with Australian Wool Innovation and wool producers, which aimed to eradicate mulesing by the end of 2010. Obviously, we've been somewhat disappointed that the progress in the research programme and in commercial practice means that we won't in fact meet that deadline for the whole flock, but we are very encouraged that an increasing proportion of the flock is going to make that date. We want to see further work on the research, producing a range of commercially viable practices so that all wool producers in all areas, even the high-risk areas, have a modern alternative to mulesing, which, whilst we recognise that was originally introduced for animal welfare reasons, now has to be regarded as an outdated practice. There are some quite activist groups like PETA who will demonstrate outside of retailers and will draw public attention to things. Clearly, any major company with a valued brand has to be aware of the activities of groups like that. But more important to us and to UK retailers is the view of our customers, which is very much informed by groups such as the RSPCA in the UK, who engage with business to look at how realistic solutions can be put in place within the commercial world. And we've been working closely with the RSPCA, and it is their view that very much guides the approach that we're taking. the UK government worked with retailers and others in the clothing supply chain to produce a sustainable clothing action programme last year, and animal welfare appears within that. So obviously they are looking at these issues alongside other very important issues such as impact on the environment and indeed labour standards within the garment sector. For wool, clearly mulesing is the big issue. For other fibres there are other issues that are more important. The long-term solution to avoid mulesing is an effective breeding programme that means that we have sheep that are much less vulnerable to fly strike. But we recognise that that is going to take some years to get fully into place. It's very encouraging that a significant number of breeders are already pursuing that, and we very much applaud that, and we would like the NWD to give us the steer towards those sorts of flocks. But there are also now improved husbandry techniques available. There has been the development of the clip, which we recognise will be a solution for some, but by no means all farmers. And we look forward to a commercially available system of intradermals, which we think will probably provide the sorts of commercial solutions that growers are looking for. Clearly Australia has been a traditional and historically important source of wool, and particularly fine wools, for the UK, and that's a relationship that we value very much and we want to continue, and that's why it's important to us to work with the industry in Australia to come up with solutions here. So I think we've seen a great deal of movement, we've seen a great deal of research done through Australia Wool Innovation to find alternatives. We are seeing the breeding programme beginning to pay off. A lot of progress, very encouraging. We do need to push on to just finish off that last bit.